Forrest Run is the iconic line from the epic movie Forrest Gump that we all remember. It's these three simple words that are shouted at Forrest Gump as he runs across America 3 times. He's asked by several reporters, why is he running? And his only response to this is, I just felt like running. Well, today I will persuade you that there are in fact more reasons to run than just because you feel like it. Now, I've been an active runner since the age of 13, and I have seen the extent of the benefits that running can have on your life. And I feel it is important that everyone knows these benefits so that everyone knows the greatness of running. To examine this, we will look at the major health problems facing the world today, specifically Americans. We will also look at how running can help prevent these problems. And then we will look at how running is in fact a long-term solution to these issues. And finally, we will look at just how easy it is to in fact begin to run. Let us begin by examining the health problems that face many Americans today. The Center for Disease Control reported on May 15, 2009, that the #1 cause of death among Americans in the last recorded year, the year 2006, was in fact heart disease, accounting for over 600,000 deaths nationwide. This is especially troublesome because it is one of the most preventable conditions that someone can have. Its main causes include high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and obesity. All of these things have made it the #1 killer because Americans just cannot control these 3 main causes. Also, many Americans are beginning to struggle with their weight as the obesity epidemic continues throughout our country. 2 out of every 3 Americans currently is either overweight or obese, contributing to not only the problem of heart disease, but obesity itself has led to 400,000 deaths. And the Center for Disease Control comments on October the 21st, 2008, that the best way to stay healthy and to extend your life is to keep your weight in check. And the recommended way they say to do this is to exercise at least 30 minutes a day on most days of the week. So now that we've seen how heart disease and obesity clearly are ending many American lives far too soon, we will look at how running is the solution to these problems. Merriam-Webster's 11th edition Collegiate Dictionary states that the definition of running is to go faster than a walk, specifically to go steadily by springing steps so that both feet leave the ground for an instant in each step. Tara Parker Pope in the health section of the New York Times writes on October the 27th, 2009, that running has become one of the most increasingly popular sports today. There were over 425,000 finishers of marathons in America this past year, 2008. This is up 20% from the year 2000. And because it is becoming one of the most popular forms of exercise, many doctors are starting to praise its health benefits and how it is able to help extend the life and livelihood of all those who partake in this exercise. Now that we've introduced the solution of running, we must now further look closely at the health benefits of this activity. Dr. Richard Weil of MedicineNet writes on June the 21st, 2007, that there are many vast and numerous benefits that one runner will have once they've been running for even a short period of time. These include increased low-density lipoprotein, which is what many doctors call the good cholesterol, and also runners exhibit high occurrences of low HDL or high-density lipoprotein. And high levels of high-density lipoprotein is the main cause of heart disease among Americans. Also, runners find a 50% reduction in blood pressure, and as well, a 50% reduction in the need to use medications to control both high blood pressure and high cholesterol, meaning without using medications, many Americans do not have to deal with side effects from these medications and risks that they otherwise would incur. And running is by far the most superior exercise, he goes on to state, because runners on average burn 28% more fat than swimmers and cyclists undertaking the activity for roughly the same amount of time. And also, running 1 mile burns 30% more calories than walking that same mile. So when you decide what kind of exercise you want to undertake, running should be easily the first choice on your list. Now, many people have tried to shy others away from running because they think it's too harmful to the joints, specifically the knee joints. However, Gretchen Reynolds writes in her blog in the health section of the New York Times on August 11, 2009, that this is simply not the case. It's clearly a myth, because she cites a Stanford University study completed in the year 2008 that followed many distance runners, not necessarily marathoners, for a period of 20 years, and they also followed a control group. After 20 years, they found that only 20% of runners' knees had instances of arthritis, as opposed to 32% of the control group's knees. Even more promising for those of us who run, only 2% of runners had crippling arthritis in these knees, as were the control group, the non-runners, had 10% instances of this crippling and painful arthritis. And also, the Stanford University study suggests that the earlier we start running, in our late teens and 20s, the healthier our joints will be in the long run, because the constant light impact of the footfall on the ground causes the cartilage to rebuild itself over time. Thus, when we get older, we literally have younger knees. So with so many benefits, there is no reason not to run. And there are many ways that we can get involved with running in our own community. For one, you can talk to anyone around you who is a runner. Like I said, it's one of the fastest growing pastimes and forms of exercise in the world. And that is why you can find anyone who will tell you the benefits firsthand. You can also go to runnersworld.com, which is home to Runner's World magazine, the nation's leading magazine in the forte of running. So, Forrest Gump himself might have not had a reason to run. However, I know you all see here today that there is a reason to run, and that reason is our health and our happiness. Thank you.